Imagine a world where the earth beneath your feet isn't solid, where the mountain that has protected you for generations suddenly begins to tremble with anger. A world where everything you've ever known seems to turn against you, and your survival depends on your ability to listen to the earth, to the wind, and to your own heart. This is the story of Koffi, a young boy who lived at the foot of a great mountain, Mount Oso. This mountain had watched over his village for as long as anyone could remember. It gave them water, rich soil for their crops, and protection from the wild. But one fateful day, the mountain's silence shattered. The earth shook, the sky darkened, and the ground beneath their feet cracked open. It was no longer a protector, but a beast, angry, wild, and full of fire. Koffi and his sister, Amina, were thrust into a desperate race for survival, and they would soon discover that the mountain itself had a voice, if only they could learn to hear it. Let me take you to a time long ago, where the earth itself could speak, if you were willing to listen. At the foot of Mount Oso, nestled between winding rivers and thick forests, there was a village where the people lived in harmony with nature. The villagers respected the mountain, offering gifts, prayers, and honoring its spirits. They believed it was their protector, a mighty force that kept them safe from the dangers of the outside world. Among them was Koffi, a boy with a heart full of adventure and a head full of dreams. He was always on the move, climbing the tallest trees, racing through the dense grass, and exploring the vast stretches of the land. His laughter echoed through the village, bouncing off the mountain's stone walls. His sister, Amina, was quieter. She spent her days with the elders, learning the mountain's history, the secrets of the forest, and the songs that brought peace to troubled hearts. Though they were different, Koffi and Amina were inseparable. They balanced each other, like the mountain and the valley. But their trust in the mountain would soon be tested. The air was heavy with the scent of earth and rain when the first tremor struck. It began as a faint rumble beneath their feet. Koffi had been running along the riverbank, Amina trailing behind, when the earth began to shake. At first, it was soft, a whisper from the mountain. "It's nothing," Koffi said with a grin. "Probably just a passing animal or the wind." But the earth didn't stop. It was as though something deep within the mountain had stirred. The ground cracked beneath their feet, and the wind began to howl. The river churned violently, birds fled in a frenzy, and animals scattered in fear. Then came the roar, a deafening explosion of sound that shook the air itself. The mountain groaned, and a massive boulder tumbled down, blocking their path. The peaceful mountain had become a force of destruction. Smoke poured from its peak, and rivers of fire flowed down its slopes, turning night into a fiery glow. The ground shook violently, and the air grew thick with ash. "We have to find shelter," Koffi shouted, but Amina froze, fear etched on her face. "Where will we go?" she whispered. Before Koffi could answer, another rockslide crashed into the village, scattering people and turning paths into chaos. Koffi grabbed Amina's hand, leading her toward the trees. "We must leave the village. The mountain is angry." Koffi and Amina climbed higher, the mountain trembling beneath them. Lava bubbled, fissures opened, and the air grew heavier with ash. The familiar landscape was now a hostile maze. As they climbed, they encountered an old woman sitting calmly on a rock, her eyes closed as though listening. "Who is she?" Amina whispered. The woman opened her eyes. "You are here because the earth has called you," she said. "The mountain has a voice, and it will show you the way forward if you listen." The woman introduced herself as Neka, a sage who lived atop the mountain. She handed Koffi a glowing crystal, explaining that it vibrated with the mountain's heartbeat. "The mountain isn't angry, it's in pain. Something has disrupted its balance. You must restore harmony." Holding the crystal, Koffi felt a rhythm, a pulse beneath the chaos. Trusting its guidance, he and Amina ventured toward the source of the disturbance. Deeper into the mountain, they found a mining operation, machines ripping into its core. The mountain's fury was its cry of pain. Koffi and Amina, using the crystal's guidance, disabled the machines, stopping the destruction. The mountain began to calm. Lava flow slowed, the ground steadied, and the ash clouds cleared. Neka appeared once more. "You have done well," she said. "The earth will heal now, but never forget, we are its stewards. Protect it, and it will protect you." Back in the village, survivors began to rebuild. Koffi and Amina shared their story, teaching their people to honor the earth's balance. Together, the siblings often returned to the mountain, now its protectors. They had heard its voice, and they would never forget its song. And so, the mountain stood once more, not just as a protector but as a reminder of the bond between the earth and those who call it home. In listening, Koffi and Amina had found not just survival but wisdom. And in the mountain's voice, they found their own.